Hey guys, it's Lauren here, popping in today to share with you a traveller's notebook layout I'm creating for the Hip Kit Club. Now, I was challenged, as well as other design team members, were challenged this week to do a layout that the theme is all about me. Now, this can be tricky, I know, for scrappers, because often scrapbookers are behind the camera and taking photos of our children, our holidays and things. And it's not that often that we are in front of the camera. So it's even a little bit uncomfortable to, as scrappers, we are really great at delighting in others. We're really great at delighting in our children, our friends, our holidays. And the way to celebrate that for us is by putting it into paper and spending some time making it beautiful and reflecting on those memories. So then when it's forced to have the focus on us, we automatically, because this is how we roll as scrapbookers, are challenged a bit to delight in ourselves and have a think about what that actually means, even when it's a little bit uncomfortable. It's unfortunate that it's uncomfortable for a lot of women out there, and if it's not uncomfortable for you, then I take my hat off to you and admire the woman that you are, because I think that's a lot of women these days struggle with appreciating themselves, who they are, where they're at in their life, and whether their hopes and dreams for themselves have come to fruition. And often in photos, we see ourselves and self-reflect and reflect on where we're up to in life and whether that's where we wanted to be. So I thought I would try and celebrate that a little, try and get a little comfortable with some of that thinking. So I went to my camera roll and printed off 4 photos of me at different times throughout. I think there was some from last year in this lot as well. But over whatever was in my camera roll, I just selected 4 photos that highlighted different stages and times in my life. And I wanted to delight in myself, even though some of those photos tell me I'm getting older. Some of those photos tell me that I'm exhausted. Some of those tell me that I am happy and on an adventure. And some of those photos tell me that, I'm doing the mum thing and I'm getting out there and creating experiences for myself and my children. So that's really what these 4 photos sort of sum up of me. And this little traveller's notebook is a traveller's notebook I've made celebrating the women in my life, celebrating the things that I do with women in my life and those special people. And so it has photos in there of scrapbooking retreats I've been on. It has photos in there of a night away with some girlfriends. It has photos in there of experiences like a concert that I went to with some girlfriends. And I just wanted a TN that celebrated the women. And I thought, when I was challenged with this sort of all about you theme, I thought, I think I'm going to put myself in the traveller's notebook where I celebrate women. I'm also going to try and celebrate myself. So here I am, I've got my traveller's notebook out and I'm going to scrapbook those 4 photos. And to be honest, I thought it would take no time at all because it's a traveller's notebook. The pages are tiny. I thought I'm not going to be investing too much time in this. But in the end, even though I had had done some fussy cutting prior to videoing, so you wouldn't have to watch me fussy cut, this little double page traveller's notebook layout actually took me a little longer than expected, but it was nice to sit there and reflect on what I was doing at those times in my life, how I'm aging, to be comfortable with that is life, and to just enjoy the fact that I have a beautiful family. I can sit and scrapbook, and I'm actually honoured with the space and the time to be actually able to spend delighting in myself, where I know others in the world have a very different life, and thinking about themselves in this way is not a luxury they can afford. So here I am. After all that big blurb, I might actually talk about what I'm actually doing, which is probably why you're watching my videos, my process videos. It's not about listening to me blurble on about things. So as you can see, it's a standard traveller's notebook. It's the interesting thing with this traveller's notebook though is every second page is a plastic sleeve like a scrapbooking album. So I have to cut the cardstock to fit into the sleeve, just like you would for a scrapbooking album. So on one side, I am working on a piece that will slide into the sleeve, and on the other side, it will not have a sleeve over it. So I have to make sure that I'm adhering well the side that it won't ever have a sleeve on it, just to make sure it's sort of robust and will last. I've just used some of the beautiful mists out of the September Hip Kit Club colour kit just to blend out a bit of a background there. And then I have used the stamp set that also came in the colour kit, which is a Vicky Booten stamp set, to stamp out some leaves. I just used some stays on black ink, and I fussy cut them out. Because what I wanted was, with those beautiful fussy cut flower elements that I had there from the paper collection, I knew that with that soft background they might get a little bit lost, and especially with my photos being black and white and some of the blacks being really black, can easily take over. So what I wanted to do was sort of just give it a bit of pop, and by adding those stronger stamped elements there, it sort of distinguishes from the photo those fussy cut pastel elements there, and just sort of makes them pop a little bit. Certainly, I didn't have any issues with my photos being sort of lost in all the scrapbooking, because it is a traveller's notebook. It's only small, and I have a lot of photos on there, so I wasn't too worried about maxing out my embellishments or fussy cut elements there that it would take away from the photos, because I knew I had so many of them, and they were quite dark and punchy, and they were full frame, like it was just my face. So having a full frame photo also adds another element of pop to your layout. So as you can see there, I've just surrounded each of the photos with some of those fussy cut elements, and I've just adhered them down with a wet glue. That's Glossy Accents, and it's a great adhesive, as well as you can apply glossy accents over the top of your fussy cut elements to give them a bit of an enamel or shine to the tops of them. So it's a lovely product that can be used either under the element or on top of the element. I've then grabbed these great thickers, these alphabet thickers. When I first saw them, I was thinking, these are a little strange. I'm not sure whether I like them, whether they're going to work for my style. But then I saw a few of the other design team girls and some of the scrappy lovely ladies in the Hip Kit Club group using them, and they looked fabulous. So I flipped from, I've got to make sure that the layouts that I use them on are really special, because they looked so great when they were on the scrapbooking page. And it's interesting sometimes when you're looking at products and trying to come up with ideas. I think if I was in a shop, I might have skimmed over those. I don't think I would purchase them, but seeing them on a layout really sealed the deal for me, and I knew that I would love them and would love to pick up another set to really use them. And they're perfect. They're colourful and pastel and different shapes and even slightly different sizes. So a little quirky, and I've fallen in love with them. I've then grabbed the Pink Fresh Puffy stickers. They are fabulous. They're tiny. So I was able to have two larger words, and to complete the title with a smaller word there. So the title is, as you can see, The Many Faces, and I've just put a little kiss cuddle down there to balance each side of the Traveller's Notebook. I've got some of the small puffy stickers, alpha stickers on one side, and I wanted to sort of balance it out on the other side by adding a couple of those puffy stickers there. So I added the kiss cuddle. I've then gone to the Pink Fresh Indigo Hills phrases sticker sheet, and it's full of lovely sayings, beautiful colours, and I've added a couple of elements there. One on either side. I had that really black shirt on there. I was at the basketball, go the Sydney Kings. I was a Sydney Kings supporter, but it was quite strong and it was really taking over the layout. So I popped that title on there, which did the trick and settled that down a bit, and then I balanced it by making that little flag under the Faces title there. I've then gone to these gorgeous pink paisley rub-ons. Those rub-ons are from the Auburn Lane collection. They're beautiful, soft colours. But what I really love about them is they have all these small little elements that you can use around your page, like those little hearts and little bees. There's flowers, there's buttons, there's little like crisscrosses. All these things that I find are missing out of ephemera packs these days are now creeping their way into rub-ons, and I think Pink Paisley have really probably got some feedback or really thought about it, knowing the people that love a little bit of mixed media and incorporating those little elements. They've put that product together for us. So definitely pick up a packet of those if you see them. Just finishing off with some journaling now. Make sure you stop by. If you haven't heard of the Hip Kit Club, make sure you stop by and check it out. All the details are linked in the comments below. Make sure you're brave enough to scrap yourself every now and then and have a little reflection on where you are up in your life, where you're in your tongue-tied, what you're up to in your life right now, and where you might want to see yourself in the future. And remember to delight in yourselves. We're amazing. All right, keep scrapping, guys. Take care. Bye.